Doctor Strange is the second MCU film we've had this year, and it stars Benedict Cumberbatch as a pretty darn good surgeon who's in a car accident where he hurts his hands, which is a pretty big problem if you're a surgeon. So he goes on a quest of healing, and in it, he, as a result, becomes a wizard. So it's a pretty big change from his usual roles, but I'll take it. And like every other Marvel film that we've ever seen, this is just good. There's nothing special. It's just good. You walk out, you go, yeah, that was a fun movie. I had a good time. But it never is amazing. It's never something that you are blown away by, except for a select few of Marvel's films. So this film, it delivers everything it promised. The visuals are really, really good. So there's lots of spell sequences and scenes, and the special effects for the spells are really very visually pleasing to look at. They're very eye-catching, and it makes it great for the audience to watch. All these visuals really help to actually build up the story and establish this magical world that we're seeing. Because Marvel is entering into uncharted territory. We haven't seen spells and wizardry in any other film, MCU film before, and it makes it really takes it to a whole nother level of detail. I know CGI isn't anything too special now in modern day filmmaking, but they really pull it off to the credit of the film. But it's not just the special effects of the spells, it's the set. We are in sanctums, which are these places that the wizards hang out, protect the earth and do magical stuff, and these sets are really interesting locations, and a lot of really cool scenes take place here. And something that's also great, not just the sets but the costumes. You've probably seen in the trailers, but the stuff the wizards wear, they're pretty damn cool. I mean, the cloaks, they're epic. Doctor Strange's red cloak, it's epic. Just really makes it like a complete universe that we're seeing, which is, it's great. The only other thing is about the spells, which I'll get to later, which we don't really see them explained as well as I would have liked, which just takes you a step back. You're observing the world, unlike something like Harry Potter where you're part of it, you're learning about the universe, as Harry is in Doctor Strange. You're observing this really cool universe, but you're not part of it. You're not learning spells, you're not understanding how it works. You're just stepping back and seeing it. Some fight scenes, some action scenes, especially the scene involving where Doctor Strange gets his cloak of levitation. That is a really good scene, and they've really nailed the humour as well in this movie. The writing is clever, there's funny lines, but not just like the typical one-line Marvel banter that we've expected from previous Avenger films. There are actually some funny moments, some funny scenes, like I mentioned before, the scene where he gets his red cloak. That is actually got some funny moments. There are some moments in there where the audience actually laughs. On to stuff that I didn't like so much. There's a middle part where Doctor Strange, after he's injured his hands, he goes searching for healing. He finds Kamar-Taj, which is a place for sorcerers, and he's learning to be able to use magic. And I don't think they did a good job of showing how he's learning, because basically the scenes are, he has a book, he reads the book, he goes, gets more books, reads those. That's not really a good way of showing that the character is learning. It's not good storytelling. You could have like a moment where we are learning with Doctor Strange, we are learning what he's learning about magic, but our understanding of the magical world never changes throughout the film as the audience. So it's hard to see how Doctor Strange has developed in that aspect. It could have taken another approach where he's taking on a challenge or a tribulation that we don't understand fully as the audience, but we can see that it's changed him as a character. Think of Luke Skywalker going into the cave on Dagobah, which has Darth Vader in it. Something like that, but we never really get that. And as for Doctor Strange as a character, he never really has a complete arc and become more of a developed character. He gets facial hair, he can use magic, and I guess he can make jokes, but that's not how character development works. And I guess that's hard to do in an MCU film. It's something that we're not going to expect. So he does have a bit of an arc. We can see that, oh, he cares about people now or something like that. But it's not as fully developed as I would have liked it to be, which is asking a bit much from a superhero film. But yes, that's one of my critiques. As for Benedict Cumberbatch as the role, he's good. He nails the level of arrogance and Tony Starkness that we need in when he's the surgeon, and the cockiness and magic abilities when he becomes a sorcerer. So I was happy with his role. I think he's a good fit for it, but he was never really challenged. He never really had a character arc. Another issue with the film is some of its story. We have a villain who is he used to be a sorcerer, and he's quit. He's taken on a dark path, if you like. And whilst Doctor Strange is training to be a magician or a wizard, we don't really know what this villain is doing. He's already hatched his plan before Doctor Strange has come into the picture, which makes we don't get a clear idea of how much time has passed as he's learning to train, and it gets confusing as to what the villain is up to during this time period. We don't really see it until Doctor Strange gets involved with the villain, but there's this middle part of where he's training, he's learning. And they could have put in some effort into showing this is what the villain's doing, this is part of his plan, but that's never shown, which makes it a bit confusing as to what he's up to, and it confuses us as to how much time has actually passed. How much has Doctor Strange learnt? I don't know. How powerful is he? I don't know. And that's something that I would have liked to have seen. Overall, this is a fun movie. I had fun watching it. It's got good visuals, exciting action sequences. It's funny. You have a fun time watching it, but like typical of Marvel films, it lacks that level of depth. But that's what we've come to expect. So all in all, it's a fun movie, and you're gonna see it, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5.